Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. The stars have aligned. The perfect storm is here. Silver stackers have the last laugh. Prices are exploding even higher. Approaching $30 silver. Gold still breaking out to all-time ever record highs. Platinum and palladium also pulling forwards. Now what is going on? I'm going to be explaining what's going on and also why prices can go even higher. You want to be subscribed because I give day-to-day updates sharing the newest, latest, freshest, most up-to-date information in the world of precious metals. I am your guide. This is your channel. Like this video. Share this video. 300 like goal. I know we can get that. Also make sure you subscribe because at 30,000 subscribers, I am doing a giveaway sponsored by the Silver Forum. I'll be throwing in some silver of my own as well. So make sure you subscribe because who doesn't want a chance to win free silver? So with that said, let's jump into it. So you can see silver is approaching $28.50 and it just keeps going up. Let's look at the 1 week. Look at this 1 week chart. Let's look at the 1 month chart actually. So it's just an upward trajectory. Let's see 3 months. See, as silver catches people's attention, as the proof is in the pudding, as people start to realize the potential that silver has and the opportunity that is at bay, they also start to buy in. So a lot of people, I was saying this is a perfect opportunity to buy in, especially since it was holding its ground here. Now, I'm not going to go into some chart analytical standpoint. I'm just going to kind of share, what's happening right now from a chart standpoint. So once it broke through this $20 resistance level, past the July 2016 high of $21, people were really bullish on it, and that's why it spiked up so fast. And obviously, there's going to be some corrections or pullbacks. So we saw it correct back a couple days ago, back down to 24, and that's only that this was only an area where people were buying it up because they saw cheaper silver for one last time to send it to the moon. Now, we're at a very, very, very interesting time because silver has no limits. The sky's the limit. The last time we saw prices this high was in 2011, which led silver to $50. So there's a lot more room to run. Gold is already at all-time highs. Silver isn't even near its all-time high of $50. So there's a lot of potential with silver. Now, I was curious to see what the gold to silver ratio is, and it's 72 to 1. The gold to silver ratio is dropping like flies. This is crazy. In March, we saw the gold to silver ratio at 125 to 1. 125 to 1. Now it's down to 72 to 1. I told you when it was 125 to 1, this ratio is extremely out of whack. It's going to be corrected. It's going to go back down to normal levels. Historically, the average is around 60 to 1. So yes, we still have some dropping to go, but I think it's much, much, much more than that. If you want to talk about some realism, some realistic stats, the gold to silver ratio should be around 8 to 1. 8 to 1. It comes out of the ground roughly 8 to 1, and actually lower than that. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but we focus on more gold than silver, and a lot of gold is recycled where silver is lost in technology. So yes, it comes out of the ground 8 to 1, but in circulation it's probably smaller than that if we're talking about production on a global basis, on a standpoint. So with that low of a ratio, it should be close to that price, right? That's how something it should be gauged in price or in value when you're comparing one store of value or one asset to another. Is what does it come out the ground, or how scarce is the one compared to the other? And that's what it used to be historically when things were had their head on straight, right? Back in the day in Egypt, it was 2.5 to 1. 2.5 parts silver equals 1 part gold, and then because that's because they saw silver is magical because it could purify water and the way it responded with elements. So yes, silver was almost as valuable as gold back then. But then as things came along, it was 8 to 1, and in the 30s, FDR changed the gold to silver ratio from 16 to 1 to 75 to 1. In the 30s, that happened. And it never recovered since, but it still has a long way to go. Now, this is an article talking about how high can silver go. You will be surprised. You will be surprised. I think a lot of people that really weren't in the silver, in the silver mind state, that were kind of doubting it, that didn't really, because this is the thing. The government will portray you to, or they will brainwash you, I guess that's the right term, or condition you to think precious metals is the house on the last house on the street, right? And that's because gold and silver is a direct threat to the US dollar. So they're going to talk about silver when it's low or when prices or when it's a bear market. So you look at silver as something that's kind of like, yeah, well, it's for the tin hat conspiracy theorists, and it's not true. Silver has intrinsic value, has obvious potential and benefits that nothing else has. It's a direct threat to the dollar because silver is real money and the dollar is not. Money is something that cannot be created nor destroyed. You can't create silver out of thin air. You can't destroy silver out of thin air like you can fiat currency or paper currency. So anyways, how high can silver go? In the longer run, there is no doubt that both net managed positions in gold and silver will reach another historical high, as the outlook for global environment is likely to be high inflationary. So while the gold has made a new high in July, investors and speculators have also been accumulating silver, citing high levels of the gold to silver ratio. While the momentum in silver has been a strong, rational investor needs to stay alert of a possible short-term correction, which that's almost obvious unless you're an extremely new investor. Now, corrections are actually good. When there's corrections, when there's dips, it's a pullback. That just means people are selling, getting some profits from the top, which is healthy. And if you want the price to actually go higher, it has to fall back down. I know that doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. So, from a contrarian viewpoint, most of the recent posts on social media platforms related to silver have been very bullish, including one post about a taxi driver telling the author on why he was bullish on silver and crypto. These would suggest that market sentiment in silver has been overheated and normally a sharp short-term correction should be imminent. From a trading perspective, the price of silver has jumped from $18 to $24 in 2 months, which is already over 30% rate of return and definitely far higher than if you consider annualized return of those who leverage in the futures market. So, this is the whole point. While there has been lots of physical buying of silver for investment purposes this year, global silver ETPs have increased physical holdings by over 280 million ounces till the last week of July this year, which is over 360% of India's silver bars investment demand in 2019. Further price catalysts will likely be provided by money in the futures market. And silver is a really small market, right? Silver's an extremely small market, so if there's a lot of new money coming into it, it's going to really push prices higher. Unlike gold, that's a huge market. So despite gold's historical high and silver's recent strength, one surprising fact is that net managed positions, the net of longs and shorts of managed money positions in both gold and silver at the COMEX exchange, are still far below from their respective historical highs, suggesting that supporting force from the futures market is still on the way. So there's still going to be more money coming in. In the longer run, there is no doubt that both net managed positions in gold and silver will reach another historical high, as the outlook for global environment is likely to be highly inflationary due to massive money printing. So this is only talking about silver's true potential, right? He's basically saying we're just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. So last but not least, how high can silver really go? Based on many reports provided by various investment banks, more and more are targeting something close to $3,000 an ounce gold price. If we go back to silver's last peak in 2011, when the price was close to $50 an ounce, the gold to silver ratio at that time was about 32 to 1. Therefore, if we apply a range of 32 to 1 times 50 to 1, or $50, silver could possibly reach $60 to $94 per ounce, assuming a $3,000 ounce gold target is doable. And that's very rational. I'm really glad that he talked about gold being $3,000 an ounce, because when people try to use the gold to silver ratio in the stake of trying to forecast or predict silver prices, a lot of times they keep gold at what its current value is, not thinking that gold's going to rise as silver does as well, which is silly and it's irrational and it's unrealistic, because silver is gold's little brother. Yes, it's more volatile. Yes, it reaches higher percents, but gold's going to rise as well. Yes, we are all bullish on silver. Yes, we love silver. But you got to realize there's still money to be made in gold. It's just silver is going to do it to a larger percent, so there's more opportunity. Plus, silver is more affordable and it's cheaper. Plus, it's an industrial metal, so it has opportunity if the economy is in good shape or bad shape. Unlike gold, that is only going to benefit or flourish when the economy is in bad shape. So silver just has more opportunity, but it doesn't mean that gold's not going to rise as well. If you love gold, if you find, because gold is a great way to store a large amount of money or a large amount of wealth in a small area. You can fit $100,000 of gold in a shoebox. You cannot do that with silver, right? That's going to take up a lot of storage space. So for some, gold is the way to go. For others, silver is the way to go. Some diversify and do a little bit of both like I do, right? Best of both worlds. So anyways, I hope this video, this article really showcases how much potential silver has. Not only just talking about prices right now being high, but these prices could be low compared to the bigger picture. You might think prices are high right now, but in a couple months or years from now, you might be looking back at these prices and say, man, those prices were cheap. I should have bought more then. Don't want to miss the boat. A lot of people bought silver at $5. More bought silver at $15, but the most people are going to be buying silver at $50+ an ounce and not making too much money. You don't want to be one of those. The whole point of investing is to get in before the curve, before the average person gets in, so you can make the most returns. Anyways, the link to this article from Money Control will be in the description if you want to check it out yourself. Like I say, do your homework, read these articles, dig into them like I do. It's the best way to get educated and to, you know, I mean, I do it for you, so I'm going to do it for you anyways, but I always recommend reading along as well. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.